Hello, Mzanzi. Welcome to it. It's Game On, brought to you by Hollywood Bets. And my oh my, do we not have a show in store for you this week? Firstly, let me start off with football royalty. Joining us later on in the show, Pitso Mosimane. Coach Pitso Mosimane, of course, will be joining us to talk about the life of Pitso Mosimane, his career so far, what he's up to right now. We'll also later on be talking to Jerry Skosana about the Hollywood Bets COSAFA Cup that's currently on out in Gqeberha. South Africa's involvement there is a big talking point. But we also do have another in the way of football and royalty, and that's, of course, Shane McGregor, just strikers in the way of my panel today, and top goal scorers, all of them. Shane, let's talk firstly about the huge loss to the Southern African football fraternity, Justin Shonga. The news that has just come through during the course of this week or earlier this week that he's passed away. A big loss for a man who still had a lot of football ahead of him and had contributed immensely to the Southern African game in the time he was here.
Yeah, unfortunately enough for the world, he's a youngster as well. That's the worst part. And condolences to all involved. And remembering him a Pirates, but we all got to go sometime. But condolences to everyone there.
Yeah, untimely death indeed, and our thoughts and prayers here at Game On very much with the Zambian football fraternity and all of Southern Africa surely behind the Zambians in this difficult time. Now, we promise to have a look and continue to have a look at what's going on out in Europe with the UEFA Euro 2024. Big talking points in the 17th edition so far. What stood out for you for now? Just on the tournament as a whole, what has stood out for you, Shane?
Well, for me, is the unpredictability of the teams. There's been some very good teams and some very teams that have just gone through the motions and have struggled. For me, it's the smaller, so-called smaller nations catching up to everyone, and that's the big thing. I love that.
Big trend in world football. Yes. Morocco getting as far as they did in the World Cup, in the AFCON earlier in the year. In fact, including the Comoros team currently at the COSAFA Cup.
But that's what football's about.
Yeah.
You want the smaller nations, so-called smaller nations, to come through and raise the game, and make a scare and show people that we're here to play, not just be another number. And that's what's happening in this tournament. I mean, it's been brilliant. I've been watching as much as I can. I've actually got square eyes. I watch so much, but it's been good. And the bigger nations have been struggling, and that's been the big thing. Whether they're struggling or the other sides have caught up to them is another story.
I'd like to think the other sides are catching up. And last week, yes, I wasn't here. Brian was here, and thank you very much to him for holding it down for me. But you said Switzerland and Italy. I think you called Italy for that one, as did I, going in to watch that game. Big shock in Switzerland winning in the fashion that they did.
Sure, big shock for me. I watched that game and I thought the Italians would get something over them. But sure. What I like about the Swiss team is the unity. They all play as one unit. They all seem to know exactly what the other players are doing. It's a unified team, and that's the big thing. It makes a big difference when you go into a tournament and you've got a team that's unified. And as that's shown it there.
Another team that over the years has been called a team for big tournaments. And they know how to handle themselves through different generations in big tournaments, the German machine.
Yeah.
The 2-0 win over Denmark, hard fought at some points. It wasn't all smooth sailing, but a luck here and there with disallowed goals and VAR, but still the German machine rolling on.
Rolling on and just producing players year after year after year. Musiala, I mean, what a talent the young boy is. And I'm saying he's a young boy because that's what he is. And what a talent. And he's showcasing himself there, different class. I think he's one of the better players of the tournament, I have to say.
Now, talk Portugal, talk Ronaldo, talk the drama that comes with Ronaldo whenever he does play. I mean, this guy misses a penalty, the eyes of the world are on him, the team is all around him, and everything he does seems to, I don't know if it's captured the imagination or just keep us glued onto the screens.
Keeps us glued. In the way he cried after he missed the penalty.
Dramatic.
After the game, and the players had to console him, but Ronaldo's Ronaldo. We all know exactly where he is. At the end of the day, he's breaking records left, right and centre. A great player, always been a great player and always will be. But I'm going to say this, and people might not like it. I think Portugal would be a better player without him. If he sits on the bench and comes on, I think they'll be a better team.
You're not the first to have that sentiment. And now, England. Many have criticised England in what they've seen in this tournament. Many feeling maybe they're a bit lucky to get to where they are. Pulled it off late with a bit of brilliance, of course, from Jude Bellingham. But what do you think of England and the way they got through?
The only bit of brilliance the whole tournament so far from Bellingham. He's been disappointing. The whole team has been disappointing. I just feel that you're playing players because of their name, and that's not good enough for me. Playing players out of position. Foden's not used to playing in that position. He's got a lot of youngsters that are decent players. Why is he not playing them? He brought Mane in. He's showed a difference in the team. Why hasn't he playing from the start? That's my difference. I mean, the centre-back has been brilliant for them, but very disappointing in England.
Now, before we get to the games that are happening today, I have to ask you about something we've seen from the Germans. We've also seen it from the English with Tony coming on. Is football going back to the old number 9, big striker that comes on and you just hang the ball up in the air and makes a difference in times of desperation? Are we moving back to what we thought was maybe a past trend in football?
Plan B.
Yeah.
That seems to be the plan B, is get the big boy on, knock the ball in, and hopefully get goal, which is a good thing. You know, we can't keep on playing. Spain have learned this, that you can't keep the ball and not go forward. Now they've learned it, they're going forward a lot more, they look a better team. So that's the way football's got to be played. You've got to get into their box, you've got to be putting the ball in there, get goals that way. Only way you're going to score goals is getting into their box. So I think that's plan B.
That's all about the different ways to break down opponents when times are tough. Now, have to ask you, England taking on Switzerland, your thoughts in that game. Is there going to be a big upset? And is it an upset if Switzerland beats England? And also Netherlands and Turkey promises to be quite a humdinger of a game.
That's going to be a humdinger because Netherlands have been disappointing. Turkey have been one of those surprised.
Yes, they have.
Like the way they play. I think that game's going to go all the way to extra time, might even go to penalties. And then I think England are going home. Get that jet warmed up. I think they'll be going home after this game.
Wow. So, what do you think? Send us your tweets, of course, at #GameOn. Are England going home? And after that performance, send Shane a tweet as well to tell him whether you're celebrating England going home or winning if they do get one over Switzerland. And another game to look forward to, of course, is Netherlands and Turkey. So that's the end of this first segment. On the other side of this, we do have Jerry Skosana. We talk about things more local before we have a great guest later on in the show.